Yeah, so there's a lot of new scholarship, in the world,
Indeed.
cats that's claiming not so much that slavery didn't exist, that the African Holocaust didn't exist. It's just that it didn't necessarily take place over the water. You know what I'm saying? That most of the enslaved peoples were actually indigenous to the land. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, somehow the numbers are exaggerated. That there's less of a connection to Africa than what many of us has been led to believe, and they claim to have scholarship supporting these claims.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you feel like this is possibly just another coping mechanism.
Yeah, for first and foremost, I would like to say I'm as far as me personally, when I'm approaching this discussion from the perspective of understanding white supremacy as a system, body politic that's a very old system, and anything dealing with our people, I'm always dealing within the context of that. And the things I'm going to say are not intended to be disrespectful, are disparaging, are harsh-hearted, are foul-spirited, or anything like that. It's just dealing with things that, from research and studies, show to be a certain way or not to be a certain way. With that being said, I believe definitely that this discussion that you're talking about, it is another coping mechanism that black people or non-white people or African people or, copper people, whatever they want to call themselves or whatever they choose to identify with, has developed to not deal with true realities of things. On personal observation, a student of history and and also just a student of our people's struggle and commitment to liberation. One thing that I continue to see and I just can't ignore from even my own personal studies in history and just social sciences and just dealing with our people is this: no one wants to be attached to Africa. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, we all have these problems with being associated with Africa, and I get it. I understand where it comes from. No one wants to be considered counted amongst the broken people. You know what I mean? Like, who, as we hear, nobody, you bring up slavery, everybody gets to rolling their eyes and cutting their teeth and breathing hard. Like, no one wants to associate with slavery. You know what I'm saying? So we, as an adverse reaction, being reactionary, as we often are as a people, you know what I'm saying? We've come up with many fancy things and theories and concepts to not deal with the reality or the situation at hand. And, like I said, because no one wants to be part of, the quote unquote so-called conquered group. You know what I'm saying? No one wants to affiliate with that, So everybody wants to give themselves a much more, grandiose story or grandiose, view or perspective or commentary. So that's the thing. And it's just, I believe it's a high level. So it's very subtle, once again, abstract form of self-hatred, that many of us do not. We have this thing about not wanting to connect with Africa at all. It's, what I'm saying?
So what about the argument that Africa doesn't want to connect with us? That there's been no search parties, that there's been no homecoming, no rally to bring us home. If that's allegedly the homeland.
Right. And again, that's another superficial argument. And I would just say that by the war is still on with Africa and its people. So, people want celebration on this wartime right now.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's, as Mr. Fuller say, African people are, participating in the longest war on record.
Mm.
So it's like people want these things that, ain't nobody coming to look for us because the war is still cracking. You know what I'm saying? You want somebody to come looking for you, the war is still taking place. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Ain't no rescue missions in war. The war is still popping. We still heavy in the trench. What you looking for the rescue brigade for? The war is still going on. So this just goes again, once again, war being one of the 9 areas of people activity. People don't understand war. You know what I'm saying? We need to start thinking more military minded, even though we don't, and learning more about the science of warfare and the science of war. Well, war is still on. Black Africans still not running Africa. So how you want them to come get you on some Prince Hakeem? And, come on, man. It's like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? This is like, Kaz got this, this fantasy.
They want that Wakanda, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, Wakanda, where is it? You know what I'm saying? It's not here. It's not there. Like, it's still on. How you looking for that?
What about the argument they were born here, that, in these states, they don't know nothing about Africa?
I mean, hey, that's fine. That's just the place you was born. We just have to call Malcolm on that one. Hey, man, a kitten born in the oven don't make it a biscuit. You know what I mean? It's still a kitten, So, yeah, you born in another place. Does that mean that you're not African? Are you not of African descent?
What about the claim? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. It's like, okay, you was born somewhere else. And then even they claim from a historical perspective, we refer to, one of the greatest books that they select. Ivan Van Sertima was one of the prominent scholars that dealt with this issue of Africans in the pre-colonial and the ancient Americas. You understand? It's like, and I've talked to these guys, and they pick and choose from his works what they'll take, the works that go along with what their agenda or their claims, but then they neglect the other things from his work that don't support their claims. Because, like Ivan Van Sertima said, yes, there were some African people in the Americas, in the ancient Americas, and in pre-colonial America. Yes, they were. Yeah, there was some there. But like he said, they all came from Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like the ones that were here, they came from Africa. So, they want to leave that part off and just focus on, we was here. Yeah, okay. Well, where'd they come from now? So that's being disingenuous to the discussion. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to talk about the Africans and rely on his works and a lot of it to bring the statements and claims from his works, then quote all of his work.
Yeah, but there's been some pushback from his work from Indigenous Americans saying that
exactly, and that's what I was about to bring. I was about to bring that up as well. I was about to bring that up as well. So see, that's what I'm saying. So this that's what I'm saying. This thing that non-white people have this fantasy of, right? And I'm crediting this to all non-white people right now. This whole divide and conquer that so many non-white people fall into, where they, everyone's trying to puff their chest up over this tribe, or we the oldest and we that. Yeah, y'all are conquered though. So it's just like, okay, you the oldest. That's what I'm saying. Because even with those discussions, that's the point I'm about to bring up. It's many so-called indigenous scholars, even though many of them have failed to produce their proof, their evidences to refute Ivan Van Sertima, and on many occasions, many of them have backed out of the so-called, debates or challenges that they set up to come against the scholar. But it's just like, again, you have groups of, even amongst their scholars saying, no, that's not true. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. And like I said, like he said, he don't make the claim that these guys make. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna have to quote all his discussion. Like he said, I've never claimed that all of the Americas was just purely African.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I've never made that claim. I've only made the claim that there was presence of Africans in the early Americas.
Mm-hmm.
I've never made the claim to indigenous people that we were the people here. You guys didn't exist. Y'all was just, y'all are the immigrants. We're the aboriginals. Like he said, I've never made those claims. I've only made the claims that it was Africans' presence here. And he made it known. Many of it can happen through trade. Many of it happened through warfare. Many of it, but majority of it, like he let me know, came through trade. And many of the anthropological things, like he said, for example, leopards are not indigenous to the Americas, contrary to popular belief. That was one of the things that they traded with the West Africans. The jade, things like this. So even certain plants that they know now are in the Americas, because besides I started with being a historian, he was an anthropologist. So like you say, even certain plants that were here that we know were indigenous to West Africa, Guinea to be specific. You know what I'm saying? Is that these things that came from that. So it's just like, but again, that's my point. Question that can go in circles and go on and on and on. Because like I say, when you look at the people who dealt with the research of the issue, they never made the claim that, all of the Americas was African. You know what I'm saying? And that and these other so-called indigenous people are the immigrants. They the ones that came later. We was here before them. I never made that claim. You understand what I'm saying? He just made the claim that there was an African presence here. And then he may also known that most of that presence took place through trade, whether it was of knowledge or whether it was of goods. So this was just something that people in that world did. They traded goods, they traded information. Some stayed, some didn't, some intermarried, some didn't. But the origin, like I say, the undeniable fact is that these people came from Africa. You know what I mean? So this is the thing. So it's like, okay, it's just all types of things. Like they're gonna tell. Like I was listening to one of the brothers, and he was talking. Oh, ships can't carry slaves. It's a ship, and it's like, okay, man. Then now here we go. Now, Cecil was saying, now here it is. And then like I say, which information is going to be relied upon in the discussion? You know what I'm saying? It's like, are you going to choose what you choose to, recognize and what you don't? Because we have book after book after book of slave biographies describing the horrors of that slave ship.
I think the claim is that that's fiction.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's what I'm saying.
Then they want to put
it's a lot of desperation. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, then they put like the numbers, like if 100 million, enslaved Africans allegedly were brought from the continent, and only let's say 200 people per ship can be shipped, and it took a month to make the trip. Like how many ships and how many years would that have taken to get into the numbers that's proclaimed? I mean, this math is what they're seeking.
Yeah, and also what they're not factoring in is when they talk about the numbers of Africans, is I'll talk about the numbers that have died in the Middle Passage, you know what I'm saying, and not just counting North America in itself, counting all of that, the Caribbean, the so-called Americas, such as Panama, Cuba, Brazil, Honduras, Belize, you know what I'm saying, Guatemala, Ecuador, Colombia, Chile, all these places we know slavery went. Peru. You understand? So that's the thing. When the institution of slavery is discussed, it's often discussed from what? A global perspective. Here it is. We got Amistad. Okay, since y'all believe in the European records, now here it is, you got a European record of a slave ship where a rebellion took place. If this rebellion took place on this slave ship, so if the conditions wasn't horrible like you guys are saying, there's a rebellion on there. Understand? Okay, if this is fictional, these slave ships that had these horrible conditions is fictional, then why do we have historical documents? And one of the most graphic historical documents is the Limestone slave rebellion that took place with 53 slaves on it, and they killed everybody on board except for 2. You understand what I'm saying? So, if these conditions on the ship was not horrible, like you say, they weren't, or it didn't happen, then why would 53 Africans decide, look, we need to kill everything on this ship? You understand? And then the 2 group-wise, captain of the ship, he knew, oh, yeah, we're going to take this thing to New York, where it landed, as we know. And then the case took forth and everything like this and like that. You understand what I'm saying? But so this is the thing, and that ship, as we know, was headed to Cuba, and that was under the Spain, Queen Isabella, the heathen. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, again, slavery was a global white supremacist institution. And it didn't just go to the Americas or North America. It went to all the Americas and all the so-called Caribbean. You understand what I'm saying? And so the thing is, it's like it's too many documents saying otherwise.
And the claim is that those documents are fraudulent, and that where are the slave ships themselves? Like, why is there, no museums that have these slave ships memorialized?
They do have them. That's the thing. So it's like I've seen one myself when I was in Massachusetts before. So, you have these things. People, that's what I'm saying. People just want to choose what they want to identify with to push their agenda. People have agendas, man. And right now it's an agenda where, like I say, everybody wants to sell us through Superman theory. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to sell, well, we were this and we were that. And we were this and we were that. We weren't that. We were this. And we're of this great America. And then my whole thing is like, okay, let's say they're right. Okay, y'all right, supposedly. Let's just say y'all right. Okay. What do you have to show for that right now? And why are you being treated like these Africans you claim you're not? You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so you're going to say that this didn't happen, this ain't real, then why are you receiving the treatment of these African people? Are these descendants of Africans? You different. You not of that. You didn't come from that. Then why are you receiving the treatment? See, that's what I'm saying. These are the games we play with ourselves. The white supremacists come up. You can name yourself whatever you want to name yourself. They're going to say, yeah, all y'all niggas get together. You understand what I'm saying? Because this is the business of white supremacy. So you can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. And I say this not to be disrespectful, but you can call yourself whatever. Rasta, 5%, Moorish Science, Hebrew Israelite, whatever. When they show up on the scene, get them niggas and round them niggas up. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't gonna be no, these niggas, they more civilized. These niggas wear red fezzes, or these niggas know how to read the Quran, and so we gonna treat them differently. No, man, come on, stop that. You know what I'm saying? You was working in that same field. You was getting that same treatment. You was getting raped. You was getting whipped. You was getting murdered. You was getting worked to death.
But I've seen the claim where even those cases are just they didn't exist in the sense to the magnitude and that they're described, as well as to who was getting that treatment. You know what I mean? So everything is being challenged.
Okay, that's what I said. Well, then let's follow the logic. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Cat's gonna make a claim, then let's follow the logic. Why are Native Americans still living on reservations right now in piss poor conditions? Why are other prominent Native American groups not recognizing Black Native Americans? Why are Native Americans, seeking, depending upon the white supremacists to give them a piece. And why you black Native Americans ain't getting a piece? Let's follow the logic of them discussions and arguments.
Well,
Okay,
a percentage
well,
of them are saying that they are, that you just got to, classify yourself correctly, and then there's grants available, there's kickback, there's...
Where they at, though? We're not seeing it. Again, these are empty claims. If many of us is Native American, as y'all saying, and y'all saying, look, all we got to do is recognize this, then why not? Where is that? If that's what I got to do, and you saying that's what it is, and if I do this and I get this grant and I can get this, where is your grant? Where is your land? Where is your, where is it? Mm-hmm. Where your casino at? You know what I'm saying? Where your casino at? Where is it at? Where's your land lot? Where is it?
I mean, there's a percentage of people walking around with paperwork and license plates and driver's license.
And many of them people still going to jail, and they still getting locked up and everything else with paperwork and license plates and all. That's what I'm saying. Like, where is it at, man? Okay, yeah. Again, that's what I'm saying. Even if that's true, let's just say it's all true, brother. Mm-hmm. Let's just say everything these people are saying is 1,000% true. Then why, are we in the condition we in? Where is it at? If it, like, you know what I'm saying? Where is it? It's not producing anything. You still a conquered group of people. So whether you're trying to say, I'm not African, it don't matter. You getting treated like one. You can say you ain't one. You're getting treated like the descendants of Africans. And you can say you're not one all day. Okay, now what? You know what I'm saying? Now what? I mean, let's just break this, deal with it real. Even to us who want to identify with being identified, we get it twisted too. Oh man, we was kings, and these fools was in the caves walking around on all fours. We was kings, and we were doing this and math, science, and all that. Brother, that was great. But what was all that doing? What's that doing for us right now, though? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, then that's great. But it's like, man, there's a war going on right now. So fancy thinking and romanticism and mixing truth with falsehood and generalizations and, picking from the truth what we're going to accept and what part of the truth we ain't going to accept. None of that has saved us, man. None of that does anything construct us.
Yeah, because you mentioned something earlier where you said Negroes stay trying to play colorblind with an enemy that attacks them based on color. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, that's my point. You claiming you're not African, you're not black, you're not this, but you are okay. Well, you're receiving the treatment of them. So what does that tell you? That means you being a Native American don't mean a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? You receiving the treatment of these African people that you keep claiming you ain't a part of. You ain't got nothing to do with, that didn't really exist like that. And it was just such a small percentage of us that was into that. And it's funny, these people that make these claims, okay, y'all still rocking European names. Y'all still got European names. You're still carrying all of these European things and entities, just like these conquered Africans. Y'all still eating a slave diet. Y'all still coming from the lands and everything. Okay, that's my point. What tribe was we in? What are the black Native American tribes? We can't never get no names.
I mean, but the claim goes so far as to say that the image that we have in our head of what the indigenous look like, that's not even the correct image, that the image is us and we are those groups. Like that's how far the hijacking is going. That's what I'm saying. Again, this is just more romanticism, man, because again,
often ask the question, okay, well, who were black tribes, man? What language did they speak? The closest answer I have gotten so far was the Black Seminoles of Florida, and we know the Black Seminoles was a mixture of Africans, you know what I'm saying, who intermarried with Native Americans and ran away. That's the closest answer I got so far, and it was one group supposedly here in California who was very, very dark skinned.
And then Louisiana has some groups, and they celebrate their indigenous roots. I don't know if they
Even
deny.
them,
I don't
I'm
know
familiar.
if they.
I'm familiar. A good friend of mine is of one of those tribes, and even them, they make it very clear that they are a result of Africans who intermarried with Native Americans.
Yeah, it seems like that particular history wasn't rich enough that some of these recent scholars go that step further and just say, like, yeah, bump the mix. We are the, you know.
Again, that's what I'm saying. No one never produces no names. No, ain't nobody never producing no languages. Ain't nobody producing no names. You see what I'm saying? If something existed, then it need to be a trace of it somewhere. What's the name of these tribes? What language did they speak? You understand what I'm saying? What did their art look like? Where did their songs come from? But just this broad generalization that it was black Native Americans, okay. And what were they? Where'd they come from?
And what was their resistance to enslavement and being colonized?
And what was their resistance to it? So we can't never get no clear answers on that. You know what I'm saying? And so instead, we deal with the trickery. And that's that we'll state certain historical facts that we know to be true, that can be proven. Yeah, we know it was some black Native Americans here, or some black people who was in the Americas in pre-colonial times. But you're going to say that was the majority of African people? When our history shows otherwise. And some of the prominent scholars that deal with the history of this, you know, they say the same thing. Yeah, it was some here, but they came from Africa. And they intermarried, same thing.
I mean, but they're going further and just saying that those scholars were just writing fiction that is similar to roots. Like every book that we think we know, and
the burden of proof is upon the one making the claim, brother. And they don't never produce no proof. You know, when I researched this discussion, and I've been researching it for a while, again, all I hear is generalizations. You know, we was black Americans in here. But okay, and I've asked several people, okay, well, what's the name of the tribe? What language did we speak? What was the art? You know what I'm saying? Okay, what was it? You know, it's like we don't. I'm never hearing. I can't never get no detailed answers. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we give broad generalizations, but we need some detailed answers. And we can't never get none. Then the people that's giving us detailed answers by saying, yeah, we was here, we was intermingling, we was intermarrying, we was, you know what I'm saying, we was doing this, we was doing that. Then they tell us, we can't rely upon their work and their research. Damn, they coming with some names and some dates. Y'all ain't coming with no names and no dates.
I mean, they classify everybody like Alex Haley, like it's all novel. Like, that they really just went. Oh, and the interesting part is the indigenous that we identify as indigenous. They're feeling like this current wave, you know, dating back to Van Sertima's work, was claiming their culture then. So now it's really very interesting to see this wave of scholarship coming that is really claiming it. Because I think Van
Yeah,
Sertima,
exactly. Because they had, like you said, they had a problem with Van Sertima.
yeah,
and all Van
and he
Sertima
ended
was
up,
stating was,
yeah, and then he ended up,
presence.
yeah, he ended up writing that again. Like he revisited it and saying like, "Yo, I wasn't saying that," and they still was on his neck. So now these cats are literally claiming, and they said it's similar to the black claims of how Egypt was colonized and the origins is skewed. You know what I'm saying? That now there's no way that the actual Africans on the continent built Egypt, right? In regards to the temples and pyramids, so on and so forth. They're saying the same. They're getting the same feeling. Like, why are you trying to colonize our history? You know what I'm saying?
The difference between the scholars who have dealt with that issue of the Europeans colonizing Egypt is they did something that these dudes aren't doing. They came with names, they came with dates, and they came with proof to offset the claim of the European. They've come with time frames, so that's the difference. Now, that's what I'm saying. The burden of proof is upon the one making the claim. Okay, y'all making this claim, but no concrete evidence is being produced other than just broad generalizations of saying, yeah, we was here and that was it. Now we're going to overlook all this other facts of people. I mean, I say here it is, we got slave records, in these same Library of Congress as he's being to quote from. Records showing that, slaves were taken. And slaves were, these are the shipping docks. These are the name of the ships. These are the insurance companies that, insured the ships. Here's the owner of these ships. Here it is. We got plantation records. Here it is. We have slave cemeteries throughout the South. It's like constant evidence and proof of this thing that y'all trying to say didn't exist, existed. We have slave biographies of black slaves telling about how they were kidnapped from Africa and how they were,
I mean, all those are being dismissed as just white fiction.
Yeah, white fiction written by black people. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, they're just straight up
that's
playing.
What I'm saying. It's like, again, this is the desperation that conquered people turn to when they don't want to face the truth.
And that truth being?
That right now, you are a subjugated group. And this group that you're trying to disassociate yourself from, the African, that you wasn't never them and you ain't never came from them, you're still getting treated like them. So you can say, I ain't them all day. Okay, now what? That's what I just said, brother. Okay, if we just humor these people, it's like, okay, y'all right. Now what? Now what does that mean?
Yeah, what's the next step against the system culture, white supremacy, racism? Like how do we produce justice? How do we correct our circumstance?
Yeah, how do we correct it? Okay, how do we correct it? How do we get this thing off our back? You understand what I'm saying? How we get it off our back? Even if we just go with these people's argument and say, all right, for sure, even though there's plenty of evidence that says otherwise, there's plenty of evidence that says otherwise.
Yeah, how does this new philosophy produce power? Like, where's the... You know what I'm saying? What becomes of this? Okay, this is factual. So when do we start moving like a sovereign nation? When do we exhibit evidence of self-determination?
Exactly. When we gonna run these pale faces up out of here then? As y'all say. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that didn't happen. We ain't from Africa. We from here. We Okay, so now what? Because my whole thing is we still subjugated like the African. We still dealing with the same struggle. They see that's what I said. They grouped us into that group of people, and that shows power. Because why you don't know? That's what I'm saying. What is this? Who is this tribe? And why you don't speak that language no more? And who is this tribe? And why you ain't got your tribal name no more? Why is your last name Johnson?
Hey, but they go super hard against somebody calling themselves black, though. That's a curse word.
Again, what does it matter? You getting treated like a black person. You know, you can develop this elitist thing. I'm of a different group. I'm of this. Okay. But you getting treated like a black person. See, this the thing. White supremacy does the naming, bro. That's something that non-white people don't understand. You understand? It's something that they don't understand. You can call yourself whatever you want. Like I said, they're going to say, yeah, all y'all niggas get together. You see what I'm saying? We could play that game all day. You understand what I'm saying? Like some of our ancestors did, man. I'm Mandinka. I'm Hausa. I'm Salinke. Yeah, I see nigga. Man, get in this shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
It didn't change the power dynamic.
It didn't change the power dynamic. All y'all niggas is the same to me. So I don't care what you call yourself. You understand what I'm saying? You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. Nigga, I'm white man. And I got something for all you niggas. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's a cold game.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Again, this is just more fancy tribalism, man. You see what I'm saying? This is what got us conquered in the first place. This same stuff these cats is exhibiting. You understand? It's just like, like Mr. Fuller say all the time. Yo, man, history at this point for non-white people, particularly black people in the world, we should be studying history for one reason alone, and that's where did we mess up at? You understand what I'm saying? Where did we mess up at? And that's something that we messed up on. Oh, I'm this. Man, I'm this tribe. I'm this. That ain't me. I'm Zulu. I'm Khoi. I'm this. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, y'all all niggas to me. You know what I'm saying? So you can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, nigga. You understand me? But like I said, nigga, I'm white. You dig? So you can call yourself whatever you want. Nigga, you can call yourself an alien, nigga. You can call yourself a Martian, nigga. I don't care. You a nigga to me, though. And I'm going to treat you how I want to treat you, boy. Yeah, you could tell me about them pyramids on the way to this jail cell, too, nigga. You understand what I'm saying? I'll listen to all those stories about them, nigga. You stand in this line with them chains on. Okay, let me hear it. I'm the son of Yaqub and what else, nigga? While you in that cell, telling me about how I'm a mutant, nigga, but you in the cell, taking a shower when I say you can? You understand what I'm saying? Eating food when I say you can? Coming outside when I say you can? And that's the greater confinement. But then we flip it to the world. Nigga, you can't drive in that neighborhood. Why? Because I said you can't. You understand me? Man, I was on the train the other day. Told you roll up on me, man. You got some proof you paid to get on this chain. I said, yeah, it's my card right here. Tap it. I tapped my card. It showed I paid. He said, yeah, tap it again. I said, man, it showed I paid already. I don't care. Tap it again. You see, these people don't. We dealing with an illogical group of psychopathic people. They don't care nothing about your reasoning. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to use reason. Damn, it just showed I pay. I don't care. You see what I'm saying? These people don't care about nothing you tell yourself, man. You can tell yourself whatever. Okay. That's why I just said, all right, man, let's just say you're all right. Okay, now what, though? Now what?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even if we just say what you're saying is the truth, even though there's plenty of history that say otherwise. But again, see, we're engaged in this fantasy, brother. You understand what I'm saying? That we don't, but that non-white people don't seem to get. We don't want to face the reality of our situation. And we don't want to face the reality of what we're dealing with. So we come up with all these little sophisticated coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms. It's just more escapism as far as I'm concerned at this point. Because don't nobody want to identify with that so-called conquer group. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to identify with that. We all wasn't slaves. We all wasn't slaves though. We all didn't come over here in Africa. We all didn't do that. Some of us were born right here. Okay. Then why did you end up getting treated like these Africans that wasn't born right here?
Mm.
Why did you end up getting treated like these slaves that was brought here?
Yeah, where was that treaty at?
Where was that treaty? Where was it at, bro? Why was you being subjugated to these black codes just like these Africans, descendants of Africans? Why was you being subjugated to this Jim Crow like the descendants of these Africans? Why are you being subjugated to misinformation and industrialism and mass media manipulation and religious terrorism, spiritual ideology confusion like these so-called Africans? Why are you being subjugated to the same thing?
Yeah, mass incarceration as well.
Mass incarceration. So you could say you're not ugly people all day. You getting treated like them. Which shows what? That those who in power make a decision on who is who and what is what.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, let's stop all the fancy play, man. It's just like we hear you all the time. We don't need to say white supremacy. We need to call it something else. Why? It's these feelings we dealing with. It's a lot of little feelings. Don't say that word. I hear people say that all the time. Don't say they ain't supreme over nothing. First of all, let's get to understand that supreme don't mean better.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Supreme does not mean better. Supreme just means they have supreme control. And right now they do. Can't be disputed. And they supreme control they have is based off whiteness.
It's based off what?
Whiteness.
Mm.
Them being white and you not being white. They realize they gotta stay in control, and you can't. Why? Because you ain't white. So this is the thing. That's what it's based off of. So you can tell yourself, oh man, we was this, we did that, we did this, we did that. All right. That's what I say. We can flip to the other romantic group. We built the pyramids. We had Timbuktu. Yeah, man, that's great. Those things are beautiful. And those are nice accomplishments. But like Amos Wilson said, where's our pyramid?
Mm.
See what I'm saying? We trying to keep taking credit for a history that we didn't have nothing to do with. I didn't build no pyramid. I didn't build Timbuktu. Where are Timbuktu? For our children. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's cool. That's nice. I mean, it's good. That's why I said I understand it. Because it's the part of the war of black mind. We've been tore down so bad, brother. We just came up with all these different coping mechanisms to try to make ourselves feel like something.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Well, that's why I said we the only group of people in the world, brother, that you hear say, I don't want to hear about the Holocaust.
Mm.
The Jews say they ain't gonna never forget. The so-called non-black Native Americans say they Holocaust ain't talked about enough. And the so-called descendants of Africa say, man, it never happened. Listen to this saying we got, brother. You know what I'm saying? We got groups that say it ain't never happened. Then we got black folks that say, so what, it happened. Let's forget about it. Let's put that behind us. Okay, it happened. So what? Then you got another group saying it didn't happen at all. the numbers is being exaggerated, and we the real Americans. The white boy ain't the American. We the real American, not him. You understand?
Mm.
Then you got the other black folks that saying, "Hey, man, let's just let it go, man. You know, it don't matter no more. Let's just let it go." And then you got the other black folks who just don't want to hear about it at all. Don't talk about it. It makes me feel bad. It hurts my feelings.
Or it gets them mad. I've heard that. They don't want to watch a slave movie because it gets them mad. Like, maybe you should be mad.
Well, they don't want to get mad because they got to do something against that white slave master, you see? That's why I said it's a coping mechanism. It's more escapism. It's just another form of escapism. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you're right. Maybe you should get angry. You know what I'm saying? But why? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, we suffer from very, very advanced, high-level psychological trauma as a result of dealing with this beast. You know, it's like Dr. Francis Cress Wilson said, you know, man, one thing black people need to do, they need to all get together and admit that they scared.
Mm-hmm.
Like she said, because once the human mind acknowledges and accepts something by nature, it'll work to get over it. But the problem is, you know, we don't want to acknowledge that we scared these people.
Yeah, and they're scary. You know? That's the other part.
Oh, and I was about to say that.
Yeah.
And we got plenty of reason to be scared of them.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the descendants of lynch mobs and nuclear bomb droppers and, you know, mass disease, biological, chemical warfare, any type of diabolical warfare that you can imagine. These people are engaging in it.
I mean, whenever you catch a group of people destroying their own habitat, I mean, that's a destroyer. That's a level of destruction that's not even seen in nature.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're right. It's a scary group of people, and we have plenty of reasons to be scared. You know, they're giving you reasons to scare. You understand what I'm saying? But then again, it's like, okay, then that's what we got to start dealing with. Do we want to live in fear, or do we want to live free, or do we want to continue to, you know, stay in captivity? I mean, and so it's just like, these are the things that we're going to have to deal with. See, because only individuals can do a few things, man. You know, I was like, one brother I know I have a lot of respect for, told me, he said, man, codes don't work if people don't implement them. You know what I'm saying? And that's this Messiah complex that we still suffer from as a people. Everybody looking for that immaculate African to come out the sky. You know what I'm saying? Or a black man. Or everybody want to put themselves part of that group. We the magic tribe. We the magic people. We the magic. Okay, man. Well, where's that then? That's my whole thing, man. Well, where is that? If y'all them people and y'all, you know what I'm saying, and y'all that laugh fly, then help me out, man, because I need it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the major pushback with Neely Fuller's book is the phrasing of the truth. Like that the people that read it feel like he's siding with white supremacy versus acknowledging a social condition and moving towards a workable solution. They just see like, well, I'm not gonna admit, you know, that I'm taking a loss or I'm afraid, because, you know, it's like almost those macho definitions don't allow them to regroup. You know what I'm saying? Where retreat and regroup is part of war. You know what I'm saying? So if you out there and you overextend it, it is in your best interest to acknowledge that overextension and to pull it back in and to get back to the planning. Get back to the drawing board.
And you have to accept there's a war going on, first and foremost. That's why I said any group of people who don't recognize there's a war being waged against them is called annihilation. You know, I often use the analysis of sports with black folks because all the Negroes love sports. You know, and like I told you know, you look at these certain athletes that they love, or even these teams, you know. Like I was talking to one guy, and he was, you know, telling me that same thing, man. We shouldn't say, you know, white supremacy. We shouldn't talk about it that because it just makes you feel defeated and this and that. Well, I know this same dude, he loved, he loved Kobe Bryant. He loved the Lakers. And, he loved, so I got to tell him, well, here it is. This guy, Kobe Bryant, is supposedly known for, putting in long hours and constantly recognizing his weaknesses as an athlete. And, he was the teammate who wasn't friendly because he in the film room like, yo, we need to stop doing that. We doing this. We doing that. That play wasn't good enough. Constantly scrutinizing and criticizing himself and the team. But they was winning. You know what I'm saying? As a result of doing that. I said, wasn't he winning? Yeah, he was winning. I said, okay, ain't that what you admire about him? Yeah, that's what I admire about him. He's a black mamba. So when you going to be a black mamba for yourself and your family and your people?
Yeah, word.
When you gonna, attach that same energy that you admire in this dude for how he can, criticize his game, and how he could criticize his teammates' game, he could critique it, and we ain't doing this enough, we ain't doing that right. You can love that about him, but you hate that about a scholar that's trying to help you get free. But you love that over a goddamn game you ain't got nothing to do with. An individual that got millions of dollars that'll walk past you like he didn't even know you if he saw you on the street. You understand? You admire that about him, but you hate that about Mr. Fuller. See what I'm saying? It's just like, this just goes to show you the levels of confusion that we dealing with, brother. As I'm saying, it's just like, man, it's just so vast and it's just heavy. That's why I said, okay, man, you're right, man. You're right. Word up, man. We these people, man. Slavery never happened like that. You know what I'm saying? It was only couple thousand of us that got enslaved. Although it's a million of us in America walking around with European names. But you're right. Only a couple of thousand of us got hoodwinked, But damn near every one of us we meet got a European surname. Even you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like, you can't tell us, and then, like I said, you can't tell us what tribe you came from. You can't tell us the name. You can't tell us the language. You can't show us no documents showing that you are from this tribe. All you can just say is that, there was some black Native Americans here that was here, and we're them. Well, hold up, man. What part of the game is that? How are you going to connect yourself with some people you ain't got no proof you a part of? I can't pop up talking about, damn, I admire Shaka Zulu. I can't walk up saying I'm Zulu now. I'm Zulu, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, and that's been the thing. Like, you got indigenous peoples in Americas that feel that their origin stories are getting shitted on even with the traveling across the frozen Bering Strait philosophy. You know what I mean? So they have their whole thing in front of themselves that they're trying to present to the world, and now you got this wave of new scholarship that's saying bump all of that. You are really us. You know what I'm saying? and we'll take it from here. That's very interesting.
Yeah, that's just as far as I'm concerned. It's just like Frantz Fanon said, one thing that colonized people do is imitate their colonizers. And, we know one of the main pivotal things that white supremacists do is two things that they do exceptionally well, and that's one, generalize. You know what I'm saying? The white supremacist system, part of its criminalization of black people, that they have to generalize black people. You know what I'm saying? And we haven't ever, and in reverse, have begun to do that. We'll take one certain thing and then we'll generalize and make it all us. And then, too, as we know, white supremacists practice this concept of, because I say so. You know what I'm saying? I'm white and I say so. And, we have black people now that think they can do the same thing. Well, I said so. Says who? Says me. Well, what about all this other history that says opposite what you're saying? Well, yeah, well, I say this. Interesting. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like we just imitating the colonizer, brother, as far as I'm concerned with that. Because you don't have nothing to prove that you think. Well, you don't have no proof, man. Prove it. Okay, what? Like I said, I asked many cats that make this claim, and so far from my studies, and I ain't saying I know everything. I'm still learning. And maybe I don't know, man, but I don't.
And why haven't they been able to hold this government to reparations? Why haven't they been able to hold them accountable?
That's what I'm saying. Okay, that's why I make the claim. Let's just say that they right. Mm-hmm. Let's follow the logic. Okay, y'all right. Then why are y'all getting treated like these descendants of African people? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You had your land took. You ain't doing nothing to get it back. You know what I'm saying? Hell, they ain't even giving you a reservation. They give some of these other so-called Native Americans who y'all claim ain't Native Americans. At least they get something out the deal. Y'all can't even show us something y'all getting.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all ain't getting nothing, no reparations. Y'all ain't getting, they keep laughing at us with this reparations thing. Y'all ain't getting no reparations. That's what I said. Where your casino at? Where the Black Tribe casino? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's at? Where y'all grants at? Where is it? You know what I'm saying? But it's like we not seeing it. And here it is. Like I heard the one sister. Man, I can't even think of her name right now. But she's her mother was Native American, or what they call Native American. Her father was Black, and she was just talking about how her and her children can't receive certain benefits based off tribal traditions because her father wasn't from the tribe. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Okay, what are these Black tribes that y'all claiming that we are? I can't remember the sister's name right now. That's bad. Excuse me, but it's like she has close ties to Louis Farrakhan or whatnot. But that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, where is it at? Y'all talking about y'all these Black tribes and we wasn't brought here like this. And okay, well, what's the name of the tribe, brother? What's the language? What land? What state y'all from? Was it Mississippi? Was it Montana? Was it New York? Where? Like that's what I'm saying.
And then there's a heavy emphasis on the miseducation that they suffered. But now, since you have new scholarship that seems to be unveiling these hidden scrolls, then again, where is the political push to empower, this dispersed people?
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it at? And why are y'all receiving the same treatment of these people y'all keep claiming that y'all not from? You're getting dealt with the same exact way.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? So, okay, you can keep saying you ain't them, but this system is treating you like them, and it's a power dynamic. So that's all that matters. That's all I said. You could call like they said, y'all niggas can call yourself Martians for all we care. You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, bro, but you still receiving the treatment of the same people you're trying to disassociate yourself with. You receiving that same treatment. You being treated with accordingly. Like I said, you've been subjugated by those same laws, the Black Codes, the Jim Crow, you understand what I'm saying?
Redlining.
Like I said, we can redlining. We can go on and on and on. Police terrorism. Still receiving that same treatment. So what is that doing for you? Okay, you a Native American. Now what? You ain't getting this so-called American treatment.
And it always interests. It's very interesting the aggressiveness that you'll see, like, on social media concerning the topic. Like if somebody is posting from an African position, let's say if they post from a Pan-Africanist position, then it'll be all of this, hostile language in the comment section. You see what I'm saying? From somebody from a different group, a different belief system.
Yeah.
If the Hebrew Israelites are posting something, it'll be all of this vehemence from another subgroup. And on and on, you know what I'm saying? More Shabaric and then
And that's what I said. That's just non-white people playing word games with themselves, man. Man, y'all can call yourself whatever y'all want to call yourself.
Do you think it's because it's safer to disrespect the next non-white person than it is to actually challenge the system culture of white supremacy?
Absolutely. You understand what I'm saying? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
So moving beyond this is to see the confusion that is, and then acting accordingly in regards to planning to produce justice versus just sitting up here.
Right. And moving beyond that, it's just like, it's no need for you to get caught up in that. That's how we move beyond that, because it don't matter what you call yourself. These people who are in charge are treating you all the same. You understand? You could call yourself whatever you want. It's just like, I've been keeping up close with this, free to land issue going on in South Africa right now with Julius Malema. And, I've been keeping up with that for about a year and a half, 2 years now. This land appropriation without compensation issue that they've been pushing, and I saw a situation, unfortunately, where he was like at a town hall discussion. And this is just kind of dealing with what you just brought up right now, how we move beyond that. Is that he was in this little town hall discussion, and he was, basically checking these white supremacists about how they need to leave and they need to get on and everything like that.
And who is this he, you said?
Julius Malema.
Okay.
And he represents that EFF party in South Africa, but he's pushing, he's real at the front line of this, pushing this issue of white South Africa or Europeans in South Africa getting on, on the land being seized. And they not getting no money for the land being seized because they invaders. You know what I'm saying? So we're taking our land back and we ain't giving you nothing. So, he's really heavy at the forefront of that right now, along with other groups in South Africa. But he's, but being one that's making a lot of waves. But I was just saying, I'm bringing up this point is that I saw a situation where he was, confronting some white supremacists and on the, the argument of the black South African pushing the issue. And it was a sister who stood up and said, you don't speak for me. I'm from the Khoi people. And we are, South Africa belongs to us. We are the oldest tribe here, and you're from this tribe, such. And so you don't really have no say so. And it's up to me, and he dealt with it real delicately, but he got his point across. He said, you say that claim all you want, but me and you were both subjugated to these people. So don't come after me. I'm your son. He told her real respectfully because she was older than him. I'm your son. I'm your brother. These people have your people and my people living in bondage. And so part of this tribal nature that our people tend to fall into, I don't want to say nature, but it's just this concept that we think tribalism is going to save us. When tribalism ain't going to save us. You know what I'm saying? It's like you could call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. But like he had to remind her, okay, yeah, you Khoi, and I don't know what tribe he is. I can't remember what tribe he was, but like he emphasized to her, your tribe and my tribe both have been wiped out by these people, and we are subjugated to these people. And so this is both me and your land, and they got to go. They invaders.
It seems like such a simple concept to get.
Again, that's why you would think so. And that's why we got to get codified and get on code. And you can go back to like we was discussing before. If we just imagine the power non-white people would have globally against white supremacy if they didn't fight and argue with one another.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It is, again, okay, you sitting here fighting with some black people and arguing with some black people about you being Native American and you ain't no African. You know what I'm saying? You putting all that energy, you doing hours and hours of videos about that. Where your hours and hours of videos with dismantling white supremacy?
Mm.
Because whether you calling yourself a Native American or you calling yourself African or a DOS, people like to say now, we don't even want to be called Africans, we descendants of slaves because we ain't African. You got that new twist out here now too.
Oh, that's what that means. I recently saw that.
Yeah, we descendants of slaves, not Africans. As if the slaves didn't come from Africa, but whatever. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And you see what I'm talking about? This is just high levels of confusion, brother. You see what I'm saying? That's why, again, like Mr. Fuller says, the objective goal of white supremacy is to cause mass confusion.
And it's also when you don't work your theory, when you theorize something but you never put it into practice, you really don't know if it works or not. You know what I'm saying? And it just seems like a lot of pontificating because you're not actually trying to build institutions. You're not actually challenging the system culture that's dominating non-white people.
That's why I said it's a coping mechanism. It's a feel good. If you could make yourself believe you was never part of the conquered group, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Then it's like, I feel better. It's not creating no real change for you, but hell, at least I wasn't no slave from Africa.
Mm. Not one of them. You can put that them on them.
I ain't one of them. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't one of them. And even these new Negroes, well, I ain't no African. I'm a descendant of slave. I ain't no African.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, dude, really? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, where's the battle cry in all of this? You feel me? Like, at least...
It ain't no battle cry.
Yeah, at least when we were... Go ahead.
It's black people arguing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That's why I will say to these people who make those claims, okay, man, you right. You understand what I'm saying? Let's just say you right. Okay, you right. We are Native Americans and everything like that. And like you said, what's up now? How are we going to get our reparations? How are we going to get some land? How are we going to get our land back?
Mm-hmm. How are we going to actually become sovereign, like
mind,
body, and spirit?
Sovereign?
Yeah.
No answers. You see what I'm saying? No answers. It's just like, and that's what I said. And then again, just take it from another level. Okay, you ain't an African, but damn, why you get treated like them? You know what I'm saying?
That's a cold game.
You're not from the people who came from Africa. You're not from them people. You came from here, and but you receiving all the. That's what I said. To the point that you even got the same slave names that they got. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. Even if we was to humor these people, you know what I'm saying, and say, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. You understand what I'm saying? It's like it's just all these gross, broad generalizations. Like one was more, ain't no tobacco in no Africa. That's not true. Wasn't no corn in Africa. That's not true. Wasn't no rice in Africa. That's not true. You see what I'm saying? And all the resources is in America, not no damn Africa. Y'all was tricked with that. Really? Why are all these other foreign lands coming to seek to try to take over America? But they all want a slice of Africa. Mm-hmm. Why we got the Conference of Berlin when they said, let's divide up this great African cake? You understand what I'm saying? Here we got Goodyear Corporation still running Liberia. You know what I'm saying? All this chocolate we love to eat come from cocoa. That cocoa come from Central Congo. These computer chips that's in these PlayStations and Xboxes, our children's hell, well, even our grown men love nowadays. Sitting up playing all damn day and everything like that. These chips come from the Congo. These diamonds we out here in love with, coming off from all Africa, this gold, this platinum. But this Negro sitting here talking about all the resources in America, not in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the problem. That's what I say. We begin to imitate our colonizers, like Franz Fanon said. We start, generalizing. Generalize is one of the biggest weapons of the white supremacists.
Mm.
You know, it's one of the biggest weapons. Like I said, the gang culture, as we know, criminality. That's a culture amongst black people. But that subculture has transferred into what? All black people. Well, you know, niggas too. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's the generalizations. And that's what we begin to start doing too. We know another. Like I said, I'm white, not saying so. You got a lot of these black people, they do the same thing. To who? Other black people. You know, you bring in proofs and evidences that of slave records, slave ships, slave documents, testimonies, book after book, of people who was once enslaved, telling their stories, and they gonna say, yeah, all that's fake. Well, how is it fake? Because we said it was.
And then they can turn around and jack indigenous people for their story and their
exactly.
Cultures.
Yeah, as if that's what I'm saying. No one else has a story except you. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the thing. Like people, and again, this is just more technology to keep non-white people at each other's throats again and again, and even them so-called indigenous people. The non-black ones that want to make they complain about, oh, what no black Olmecs and all this and that. Yeah. Yeah, what y'all gonna do about them Spaniards, though?
Mm.
You understand? You sitting up here arguing with us about some of our ancestors that have some business dealing with yours, but these damn Europeans is running your country, though.
Mm.
But you exerting your energy on let's talk about that. You see, we focus on the small things, man. You understand? Here it is, you got these European countries running, got your people, you know what I'm saying, in Colombia murdering each other over a damn plant. You understand me?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, what you sitting up here talking about, we gotta do something about these mayates, really?
That's the cold game, yeah.
It's the cold game, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, that's why I said, I was like, when I hear these dudes tap, sometimes, brother, I can see the white supremacists, I can just see them back and just laughing. I be having visions of it sometimes. They just be sitting up, just laughing, showing all their teeth, like, look at these niggas.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just be picturing it sometimes. They just sitting up, just drinking beer, just laughing, like, look at these niggas.
Yeah, like they don't even have to finance the official federally funded counterintelligence program. It's built in. It's built into the actual.
It's on autopilot, brother. It's on autopilot. You know what I'm saying? It's on autopilot. We gonna exhibit some dysfunctional behavior. You know what I'm saying? It's on autopilot. Yeah, like you said, it's built in. They ain't even got it. You know, they ain't even got to do the work no more. You know, you know what I'm saying? They like, look, we got it working. It's smooth salad. Look at them. You know, look at them. It's like they can just laugh. Like, look. And if they want to do sense amongst us, it's just to keep the confusion going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll send something amongst us just to, you know, go keep them niggas confused.
Because if you think about the power potential of social media, the fact that we damn near instantaneously can communicate with the planet, and the information or misinformation or the attention to nonsense that's given in the face of information. So you'll have Amos Wilson, you know, right next to a dog jumping through or chasing his own tail, and then the dog chasing his tail got, you know what I'm saying, 1 million Negro views, you know what I'm saying, or some celebrity got a million Negro views, and then Amos Wilson ain't even broke 500, you know, views, you know what I'm saying, like ain't even.
Yeah. And they'll give you the views. Like you said, they'll put it out there for you. And like that's one of the things Mr. Fuller said, man, they'll share, they'll allow us to put the information out.
Mm-hmm.
But like he said, they ain't gonna be worried about it. Why? Because we ain't acting on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody asked Mr. Fuller a question, well, how did you get this so old? And, and you talk like this, and you're so frank, you're so this and that, and they haven't done nothing to you yet. He said, yeah, because ain't nobody started acting on what I say yet.
That's tragic.
You know what I'm saying? He said, yeah, people started acting on what I'm saying, and yeah, it'll be something different, But they out to cause confusion because, I was, even him, he was talking about how recently the white supremacists reproduced his book and they put some concepts in it that wasn't from him. You see what I'm saying? So they constantly busy. He was saying that's why he made the book to where you can only order the book from him now. Because when he was dealing with the publishing, they actually changed it and introduced some foreign concepts into it. So he had to shut all that down. That's why now when you get the book, it's literally coming from, him. He produces it. You can't buy the book to no one but him now. You can't go to the bookstore, nothing. You got to go to his website and everything because that took place.
Yeah, it makes sense. Ownership and control. That's a decision that he was able to make. He moved, you know what I'm saying, in a liberated fashion. And that's what's interesting, that if these things are true from whichever one of these groups, why don't you move with like a liberated space, like actions that reflect
that's my point. That's
that
my
sovereignty,
point.
that reflect that holiness. You know what I'm saying? Like I just see the same bickering. I see the same bickering and nonsense as if you didn't know the truth. You see what I'm saying? I just want to see the institutions built. I want to see the resistance.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, y'all. Oh, that's why I said that's my position. Okay, this is true. Now, where's the fruit at then?
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? Where the schools at?
Yeah, because that's the thing. If okay, you're part of a group that cut a treaty with the founders, and you're really part of the founding of America, and this information is known, right? This is what they say. This is documented, yada yada. You just got to do the research. But I don't know why the school isn't built. Like if we're lost, then why not build a school where we're the majority, population, to teach us differently? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like if it's a miseducational thing, then open up the schools. Exactly. If you're a sovereign people because you claim your heritage and you know the truth and you're a dual citizen between this and between that, then bring some of that wealth, you know what I'm saying, from the other nation, or vice versa. Like establish something to where people that don't know can see it working. You know what I'm saying? And learn about their true selves. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's absolutely. That's what I said. That's my position. Okay, what y'all saying is true. Now, where is the fruit? Mm-hmm. I don't see it. Like I said, I ain't trying to be funny, but I don't even see y'all with a casino.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is all this stuff you saying, then I'm familiar with a lot of the indigenous issues, and I'm familiar with some of the activist groups from the indigenous community. They're very upset about the conditions of the indigenous people.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ain't even making noise on that level.
Because they also hate that they're considered a group that's decimated. Like they still exist. So when people even speak about it, like let's say around Misgivings, that particular holiday, they'll say, "Yo, we're still here. Like it's not a genocide. It's not a complete genocide. Like we're still here." So they've been trying to just be more visible. And now you got a new group of scholarship or scholars or thieves that's coming along claiming, you know what I'm saying, their heritage when they already feel like they're being marginalized to the point of being considered extinct. Like that's a very interesting arrogance.
Well, again, is it arrogance or is it self-hatred?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Is it?
I mean, if you got a marginalized a group of people saying, "Yo, we're tired of being made invisible," and they're pushing back for visibility, you know, along with all their human concerns, all the things that they're struggling and fighting for, all that to be erased and say, you know what, y'all not even the real Indians, we are. Like that's very interesting. That's a very aggressive position to take.
Again, when you hate the image of yourself, you'll take that position. You see what I'm saying? It's just like we on the flip. You got the other one. I ain't no African. I'm an African American. And as a matter of fact, I don't kill me a damn African. You see what I'm saying? And them damn booty scratches and, all that, like I remember my pops told me, when he was a little, he called word African. It was fighting words.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. If you don't want to embrace what you are, you'll do something drastic by claiming somebody else's reality. Hell, we trying to claim the European reality.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. You got black folks celebrating 4th of July. What? See what I'm saying? 1776, you were a slave.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But if we'll go to drastic measures to identify with white culture and white people, what is it for us to go to another drastic measures and try to hijack another non-white group?
And even and that's
we try to force ourselves on white people.
Yeah, and I mean it's a complicated position to take because you have Indigenous Americans with history of actually owning enslaved peoples as well.
Of African descent, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, again, man, what is this about? You feel me? It's like that's what I said. To me, it's just another sickness of like non-white people trying to run away from a power dynamic that exists. Because we gonna have is information and research that'll say otherwise. This is information. Hell, recently they had just recently out here at the Crenshaw Mall. This is about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
They had a event dealing with the African presence in the Americas, and a Aztec indigenous group showed up way disrespectful. Like trying to white people type disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Came with they feathers on and everything. You feel me? Like ready to fight. Now I wasn't there. I have someone who's a reliable source that I know was there, and he was there drumming, and he's a martial artist, and he was telling me he was ready to go and get down mode, but everybody, no, don't do that. That's how aggressive they came. They came cussing. They came, you black such and such, y'all waged war on our ancestors and this and that, and yada yada, and y'all are enemies and this and this, and these people had on the feathers and the beads and the shells on the ankles and everything. Came wearing it.
So they were trying to hold us accountable for like the Buffalo Soldier side of the story?
Well, no, not even just that. Just even some of the contact in the ancient Americas, they claim a lot of that contact in the ancient Americas was even based off war. But yeah, that too. But they was just, they was coming with the ancient American story. Now these wasn't North American indigenous people or people who identify with the North American indigenous movement. These are people who identify more with the Mayan, Aztec type vibration. But they came nevertheless, like, hey man, y'all is enemies.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's
that is so not what we need. That's so interesting. Like the work that needs to be done, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, okay, and even for them, that's what I'm saying. Okay, y'all talking about some black people did. Well, damn, black people don't run your land right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're actually dealing with a group of destroyers that have claimed the planet And in that claim, they said, you know what? We're going to trick off all the resources and destroy it. Like, it's like they're aiming to destroy the actual physical planet, and cats is feuding over histories.
Only to their benefit on top of that. And then leave the like you say, and then leave the subjects arguing over things that happened 5,000 years ago. That's why I say this high level chess being played. That's why I said sometimes I sit back and I got a creative mind, I got a strong imagination. Sometimes I just see the Europeans in that secret room just popping champagne laughing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I can just see them. I mean, I see them all the time. Just laughing. Look at how we got all these non-white people at each other's throats, man. Ain't it hilarious? Look at it. We got these cats arguing over stuff that can't be proven. You know what I'm saying? We got these people out here taking animate positions over things. And even if it can't be proven, so the hell what? We in charge now. Look at these dummies. You know what I'm saying? I make the analysis all the time, man. You get 100 black people in the room and you ask them what's their problem, what's most affecting them as a people, you'll hear 10,000 answers within a couple of hours. Oh, it's religion. Oh, and we ain't vegan. We stopped listening to oldies. We don't listen to black music no more. And no, man. Our problem is white supremacy. That's it.
I think the definition of white supremacy is, on the mainstream level, has been diluted and is confused with something minor like a bigot or prejudice or discrimination. It's not really in the same scope that Cress Wilson put forward or Nelly Fuller.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I definitely will agree. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, it's not dealt with like that. It's always dealt with from the perspective of, like you said, that redneck white boy. You know what I'm saying? We only see it as that. And if it's possible, man, I've been fortunate enough to memorize the definition of white supremacy, and I don't mind repeating it. You know what I'm saying?
Go for it.
Yeah, racism, white supremacy is the local and global power system and dynamic, structured and maintained by persons who classify themselves as white, whether consciously or subconsciously, which consists of patterns of perception, logic, symbol formation, thought, speech, action, and emotional response conducted simultaneously, in all areas of people activity, economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, religion, sex, and war, for the ultimate purpose of white genetic survival and to prevent white genetic annihilation on the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that's.
So
what
you
that
ultimately
is.
feel that all of this confusion are coping mechanisms and people trying to pontificate on our reality based off of fear or based off of just not wanting to deal with the war.
I think it's based off fear. I think some people are sincere in their ignorance. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't that where I'm at now always either myself. You know what I'm saying? I think some people are just sincere in their ignorance, and I do. And then I believe it's large groups of us who just, we who are captivated by fear and shame and guilt and pain. And I mean, because, like I said, man, slavery is a horrible thing that happened, man. You be like, God damn, and it's like, damn, that was tragic. Like, it was a tragic thing. And then too, like we said before, another big thing is that often when we deal with the reality of slavery, we don't never talk about the resistance. You know what I'm saying? So all you often tend to hear about is the breaking. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when you constantly even just hearing about the breaking, I can understand how that could just mess with, traumatize somebody's mind even, because these people was doing some very horrific things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they've reinforced it through, entertainment. Every time you turn on the TV, a black person is playing a despicable role. You know what I'm saying? Every time you read a book, we always on something. Then when, like you say, and again, keep it in mind, white supremacy, it governs all 9 areas of people's activity. In your education, you ain't never learned about nothing but you was a slave. You was just being broken. That's all you were, was just this broken slave. None of y'all never tried to run or anything. And you don't never learn about black inventors, nothing. So I can see how people tend to gravitate towards these type of thinkers and ideologies. You know what I'm saying?
And you sold yourself into slavery.
Right, and you sold yourself. You feel me? Wasn't no white aggression. It was all your fault. You understand what I'm saying? So when you only learning that narrative, you understand what I'm saying? It's just like you don't, it's like it'll break you. You see what I'm saying? And so, of course, then you're gonna start trying to identify with other things, and then you're gonna start trying to well, they will see, well, it's their fault we was here, not the white man, they fault. It's just like, but the white man put the whole scheme together, though, and reinforced it, and gained off of it, and maintained it, and spread it.
Are you sure you're not giving too much credit to this this individual, to this group?
All right, man. Like I said.
I mean, because that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like they'd rather go with a complicated story, because to just admit lost battles, it seems to be too painful.
Because that's what I'm saying. So that's why I say, because that feels better. That's why I said it's a coping mechanism. That feels better just to say, man, we got took. And true humanity is to what? Admit a mistake. That's true humanity. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We often throw that word humanity around, being human. Well, human is being able to recognize when you did something right and when you didn't. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if we're going to be true to humanity like we claim we want to be, then let's be true to our own humanity. And that's what, man, we being captivated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we don't want to be captivated anymore. So now we got to start being true to it. Because it don't matter what you call it. You call it Illuminati. Okay, well, who are these Illuminati? Are they white?
Or if you say it's capitalism, who are the major capitalists? Who are the corporation owners?
Exactly.
Who are the writers of policy if it's government?
Yeah. People say, Barack Obama was president. He was elected by who? White people, the Electoral College. Who was that? The Congress and the Senate and everybody else. More white people telling him what to do. You see what I'm saying? But this is just technology. We don't, here it is. You got L.A. We from L.A. We know some of the worst crimes took place on a systematic level in black L.A. under what? A black mayor. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, these people, they don't think. And we ain't been trained to think, because that's that education. That's one of the 9 areas of people's activity. So that's the thing. It's like constantly this psychological bombardment. So I get it. Don't nobody want to identify with, this and that. I understand the shame and all of that, but it's just at this point, do you want to stay in that shameful state, or do you want to overcome it? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to, or you just want to maintain it, or you just want to yourself, it don't exist. I mean, you hear all kinds of, then you got the peace and vibration people. Well, white supremacy is only really you because you recognize it. And oh, really? Okay. You know what I'm saying? You got those arguments too. Well, I don't recognize that energy, so therefore that energy don't exist. And that energy only exists because we recognize that energy. Well, it keeps disrupting our energy. So what's the problem? You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. It's like we got all kind of arguments. You know what I'm saying? We constantly coming up with, fancy ways and theories and ideas to try to disprove this thing.
I mean, because the fear obviously is a misconception that if you stand up, it's going to end in assassination. You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, I think that's the overarching, like, it's in our DNA at this point, is that tragedy comes with standing firm on principles and actually working towards.
That is true. And it's human nature to survive. But I will make the argument that many of us are not committed to surviving. We're just committed to trying to choose how we're going to die. Because the thing is that I can't even just say that, because the thing is, like, we know you can die from not doing nothing. You could be the so-called good guy, the good darky. You know what I'm saying? You could be the good darky all day. Go to church 4 times a week. You know, man, vote Republican and Democrat, do whatever. You know, go to the military, the whole nine, and you can still get done in by these people. So it's just like it's like this whole thing is not one to die. I don't know, man. It's just, you know, I'm still trying to figure that out, because it's like, well, damn, we dying anyway. And so it's just like, is it that we just don't, or is it that we just scared of dying, or is it just, you know, we're committed to, you know, we've been subjugated mentally, and we just, you know, committed to just dealing with the oppression. You know, because it's like you can die from not doing anything with these people. You know, it's just like, we got plenty of examples of black people who didn't do a damn thing and still ended up dead. And that's what I'm saying. Like, these people we dealing with people who have a psychopathic mentality. You know, as Dr. Bobby Wright says, a psychopath is somebody who lacks the ability to empathize. If that ain't a white supremacist, it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thinking. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. We're not really. That's what I'm saying. We don't want to. We have to deal with this reality that white supremacy is real, that it's a war being waged, and it's going on. Like I said, that's why I keep saying it again. I go to that point, until we really truly recognize white supremacy for what it is, then we'll keep doing little stuff like this. You know. Oh, you know, it's not really white people, it's the reptilian. Or, oh, you know, we're so much older than them. And, oh, we were the first Native Americans, and we the first Egyptians, we the first this, we the first that. Man, okay, all right. You know, but now what? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we was all of that, but right now we're not. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm just saying, if we want to make all these claims that people want to go by, all right, and some of them are true and some of them aren't. I mean, but it's just like
some people are waiting for the cue from their God, allegedly.
Are that too? Okay, that's cool.
That they're in position, and they will start the slaughtering and the correction as soon as they get the word.
Oh, well, you know, them people who say that, then they should stop talking about people that's getting done in. Then you just keep waiting for that cue. And when it go down, you make it happen. But stop talking bad about these people that's being victims.
Yeah.
You know, for those people who want to make that argument. Because it's just like, you know, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's so many different ones you can say. That's what I'm saying. But it's still in existence. It's still being practiced. This is still the common reality that's at hand right now. That is like, it's like so many people are trying to deny, but it's here. It's up on you. You know, it's going down. And, you know, people keep trying to call it all type of other things, you know. And I don't knock nobody, you know. All right, you say it's this, you know. All right, man, well, it's doing this, though. That's what I said. Whatever you want to call yourself, you can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, because this... I'm sorry, go ahead.
My whole thing is, how is your claim standing up against this group right here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, and there's evidence of, if you build something that works, people come to it. You see what I'm saying? Rather it's
Yeah.
a new mall, rather, you know what I'm saying? People will get to it. Like, so just produce the evidence and you'll have that support. It's like, it's almost like we don't have to talk about a lot of these things. If we do the work, the people will recognize, okay, that school is producing educated individuals. I want my baby to go there. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, for all these people who are making these claims, these other groups that, oh, we are this and we are that, and we're not this and we're not that, and we're this and we're that, and we're the chosen people. You know, everybody has this, like, you know, this magic, you know, black person talk going on. You know, we are the chosen people, and then, well, man, let me see the works of the chosen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you see it right you see the evidence with the other groups that claim those things. I mean, it can be even, you know, Mormons. It can be small religious groups. They still hold down a state. They still hold down a neighborhood. You feel me? Where it's functional based off of their principles.
Yeah, and they're also white. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just like, and that's my point. Whatever they're into, they're committed to whiteness. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't understand how advanced this white supremacist ideology is. You see, white supremacy is an ideology, and it's a code. I don't care what white people is into. Racist white man, racist white woman. I don't care what they into. They have shown historically over and over and over again that if it comes down to them being in charge of you, or, you know what I'm saying, you being in charge of them, guess what? They're going to put whatever their differences are to a side to remain in charge of us. Historically, history has shown this over and over and over again. White people have slaughtered each other in massive numbers throughout history. But when you peep what they're doing it for, it's usually over what? Who's going to control non-white people? You see what I'm saying? And you even reflect on the Conference of Berlin, the historical event. What was the thing? Let's divide this great African cake. Look, let us stop fighting each other and let's focus on conquering these niggas over here. This is a sweet place. They refer to it as a cake, bro. Listen to that psychology. This is a cake.
Oh, man, that's even the notes that Columbus had. Is like, yo, these people ain't even got no swords. Like, we can come got
no sword when he came across the Orwocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the Orwocks, he said, man, and then he said they're going to be perfect for the kill.
Yeah. And then he was like, they docile like children. Look how he described that humanity. Yeah, like, here's some humane people presenting this dude with gifts and trying to welcome aboard. And they like,
and he thinking
straight slavery.
Yeah, 187, murder, death, kill all day. You know what I'm saying? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't understand the mentality of people we dealing with, brother. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like, they don't care. That's all I said. You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, man. Like I said, yeah, tell me about them pyramids while I'm walking you to the cell. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the doggone did what? Yeah, put them bracelets on. Yeah. you understand what I'm saying? They don't care about none of that, man.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that to be disrespectful, but it's just like, dude, it's just that, man, and I ain't trying to be harsh, but that's just the reality of what we dealing with, man. They don't care about none of that. Anything that's sacred to you is trash to them. So it's just like, man, we got to get serious about who we dealing with. Like, man, because I tripped off that too when I first read Christopher Columbus's diary. I said, damn, this is a psychopath, man. This guy. It said they're going to be perfect for the killing. When I first read about the Conference of Berlin, I said, damn, they referred to Africa as a cake. They even brought a cake to the meeting. You know what I'm saying? And said, we're going to chop this cake up and eat this sweet thing. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to break it up between ourselves. Mm-hmm. It's like, because we've been at each other. We've been fighting each other, and look, we can just focus on the resources over here. You know what I'm saying? So,
and
Britain
that's
already
also
got,
them. Yeah, that's also them building solidarity by discovering an enemy that wasn't necessarily even an enemy, unless you take Cress Welson's view that genetic survival is on their mind.
of
But
course.
aside from that, there was no threat. You know what I'm saying? From this cake. They used it as a unifier, you know what I'm saying, for their differences, and then struck out. That's a very interesting thing, because when you bring up enemy nowadays to Negroes, I ain't got no enemies. Like, I love everybody. Like, they
Right.
actually are taking themselves out of the resistance with philosophy like that.
Yeah, I was reading a book on war once that said all great conquerors make enemies in the name of conquest.
Mm.
So a conqueror, he'll make an enemy if he ain't got one.
Mm.
I'm saying some get into the business of conquering, they'll make an enemy. You know what? Them niggas too tall for me, man. I don't like that. Who told that nigga he could be tall like that, man? Let's go get that nigga, man.
Oh, man.
You understand what I'm saying? This that nigga hair shape funny, man. That nigga looking at me crazy with them eyes, man. We gotta go cut that nigga eyes out. That nigga eyes, something right with that nigga eyes over there.
Mm.
You see, this is a conquering mentality. A conqueror, like I was reading this book on the history of warfare and warriors, and they said one of the things about a tyrannical conqueror, like they said, if it ain't no enemies, he'll create some.